I'm going to show you two exercises that are going to help you to develop your sprinting abilities, especially when it comes to acceleration. They are working on a concept called hip projection and delayed knee extension. When you're sprinting, you cannot afford to knee extend every step, because the more you extend your knee when you're sprinting during a stride, the quicker you come off the floor. The quicker you come off the floor, the less time you have to apply force to your glute. And if you actually do things like, let's say, single leg RDLs or normal RDLs, you should notice that the straighter your leg is, the harder it is to actually feel your butt cheeks works. The more bent your knee is, the more hip flexion you can get, and the more you can actually feel your glutes start to get some leverage over the movement. So I'm going to show you two exercises that I like and some technical tips to be able to help you get to grips with this. Okay, so the first one is just going to be our wall drive progression. You'll see normal wall drives done are usually like this, driving here. These are good, but I'm going to show you a different version that's going to help you to actually understand how to drive through your hips. So what you're going to need to do is start off kneeling with both feet level, and you're just going to reach out and touch the wall like this. What you should be able to find is a position where you're kneeling and you can find like a 45-degree angle to the floor. All I'm going to get you to do from there is pick your knees up, and I want you to try and drive your glutes forwards, squeeze your butt cheeks, but the trick is going to be not doing this. I want you to keep your knees at a consistent angle off the floor, so you start to understand how to extend your glute and let your knee drop. So without basically doing this, without straightening the leg. The second variation of this will just be doing it as a single leg version. So I want you to set up the same way. You go onto your knees, find that 45-degree angle with your arms straight. You're then going to come up, and then you're going to go from double stance into a single stance like this. So you're going to drive off both feet and drive your hips towards the wall. And again, you're not trying to pick your knee up, because that's going to make you stand up tall. I want you to think about just grazing or tracing the floor with your toes. You don't have to drag your toes, although it can help sometimes. Just going to go here, drive straight forwards. Here, drive straight forwards, trying to keep your knees at the same angle off the floor. Okay, so the next drill is going to be wall shoots. So it's a progression on the wall drive drills. It's now going to be a little bit less stable, because now you're having to drive and find the wall. Try to find a wall that's got a bit of padding on it, or maybe like you can use a medicine ball if you want. But this can sometimes be a bit hard on the wrist. Just be mindful of that. What I'm going to do is get about the same distance away from the wall, probably a little bit closer. And what I'm going to try and do is go from this position, full kneeling, and this is the harder one. And I'm going to try to drive my hips straight towards the wall and basically find that finished position that I was doing when I had my hand starting there already. So I'm trying to find this position, but from here like this. So you should see my knees come up a little bit, but they don't straighten that much. So I'm here, hips go through, boom. I'm just trying to get used to that idea of throwing my hips forwards. Next variation you do, which is the one that's going to show you how to do it from a sprint start, also feels a bit easier. You're going to start here in a half kneeling position, quite short, and you're just going to focus on rolling that hip on the backside. Sorry, not the backside. On rolling that hip forwards like this. The tips for this one I would say is just focus on letting the knee drop and your hip come through. Keep the other foot close to the floor, so don't step over something, step through. So rather than doing this, you're trying to think it's just a straight step. If you want to drag your toes for the purpose of this one, you can. So again, hips through, let the knee drop, keep the foot low to the floor. That should start to give you an impression of how to drive your hips through, and it lets you practice it and set it up and get a feel for it and hold that position on the wall to get what like the finished position in a step is. Okay, next exercise is going to be extensive frog leaps or broad jumps to the squat position. The main thing that I like these for is teaching you how to go from a relatively vertical position like this, where like my weight is balanced nicely this way, to transferring forward. The main things to remember in this are, one, you are not trying to extend your knee, you're trying to preserve a bent knee angle. So if anything, I want you to think about jumping like this, almost like you're hip thrusting and deliberately contracting your hamstring to stop you from doing this. If you straighten your leg, it will cause you to raise your body height up, and you won't get the benefit, you won't get that feel of just pure horizontal projection. The other thing I want you to do is try to make the jump smooth, so you're rolling from heel to toe. So what I'm looking for you to do looks something like this. So it's a heel to toe roll, keeping the heel close to the butt like this. Okay, so that should be simple enough. What I want you to avoid doing is this. Like that. That's still a good jump. You can still do those. They're a very good exercise, but for the pure focus of horizontal projection, I want you to think about keeping your heel tucked into your butt, so like calf to hamstring, and just jabbing with your glute. So that position that I'm getting into looks very similar to the wall drill. It looks similar to this. Just helping you to practice that takeoff position, get comfortable with horizontal projection, and stop you from falling forwards. You can use these drills before you sprint, Or if you're a weightlifter who's doing this in like a normal gym, do these drills as part of your warm-up, as like your activation, then maybe jump on a sled, especially if you're at a gym, like pure gym that has a sled, or you're at a gym that's like Hyrox affiliated. Just go and get on a light sled and get yourself into that same sort of 45-degree body angle and just do like 10 sprints, like 10 by 10 meters every minute on the minute after this stuff to practice your running.